Greetings. Myself, Sama Anjum K. I'm pursuing MA English Language and Literature first year at Madras Christian College, Tambram. I'm going to present a seminar for the paper European Fiction and Drama. The topic I have chosen is Epic Theatre of Brecht in reference to the play Mother Courage and Children. I'm going to give very short references and also explain the techniques used by Bertolt Brecht. Before we enter into the topic, let's just see what epic theatre is. The term epic theatre is now widely used to describe the style and techniques popularized in Germany after World War I by directors like Max Reinhardt, Erwin Piscator, and Bertolt Brecht. Among them, Bertolt Brecht is very important and very significant. Influenced by the horror of the First World War's human cost, by the suffering of the middle and lower classes, and during the post-war recessions of the 1920s and the Great Depression of the 1930s, and by the teachings of Marxism, Birch and his fellow epic theatre artists devised a set of staging and acting techniques meant to teach their audience to criticize the injustices and inequalities of modern life. Now, two keys to their technique are the notion of theatricalism and the concept of the distancing or alienation effect. Now, the first key, theatricalism, simply means the spectators are aware that they are in a theater watching a play. Brecht believed that seducing the audience into believing they were watching real life led to a very uncritical acceptance of society's value. So, the second key to epic theater, the distancing or alienation effect, is in acting style, has these same goals. Like Brecht wanted actors to strike a balance between being their character on stage and showing the audience that the character is being performed within inverted commas. The use of quotable gesture, again, the employment of a stance, mannerism, or repeated action to sum up a character, the sudden shift from one behavior to another to put the audience off balance, and the suggestion of the words within inverted commas, roads not taken, in each moment of a character's decision making are all the means to the didactic ending of teaching us to criticize the society we see on stage in epic theater. Now, let's see what are the techniques that Brecht used. The theatrical conventions developed by Brecht are surrounded by much confusion. Although he wrote extensively on the dramatic theory behind his work, some aspects are still vague. To understand it, we must evaluate his theatrical conventions and how they relate to both his writings and productions. Willis, keeping in mind that Brecht's technique were a byproduct of his environment. His theater is best described as a dramatic vessel of rational didacticism, influenced by his Marxist belief in order to incorporate Marxist theory in his works. Brecht devised various dramatic techniques to convey his message. Techniques such as the alienation effect, didacticism, breaking the fourth wall, justice, narration, and use of song all encompass the Brechtian theory of epic theater. Now we just saw what are the techniques. Now let's see all these techniques in detail in relation to the play or by referring the play Mother Courage and Her Children. The first technique, which is a German word, Verfremdungseffekt or alienation effect. Verfremdungseffekt can be most accurately translated as the making strange effect. And it seeks to do precisely that, to make the familiar stage, to give everyday events the status of something grand or epic. The alienation effect was developed by Bruch in the 1920s and the 1930s. It is a technique which estranges the audience and forces them to question the social realities of the situations being presented. So, Brecht achieved this by breaking the illusion created by conventional plays of the time. He believed that the suspension of disbelief created by realistic drama was a shallow spectacle with manipulative plots and heightened emotion. So the theater is a form of escapism and did not challenge the audience at all. Rather than feel a deep connection to the character, Bridge believed that an emotional distance should be maintained. So it is only when this happens that the audience can effectively critique and evaluate the struggle between the characters and understand the social realities of the narrative. Now, this is evident in Mother Courage and her children. When we see the character Mother Courage singing a lullaby to her daughter Catherine and then later paying for her funeral without any emotion. The ambivalence and irony of the characters, particularly Mother Courage, is what is so alienating about the play. So we find ourselves constantly questioning the role of a Mother Courage. What kind of a mother is she? What is this courage called? Why is she called courage? How is she courageous? The audience questions the presentation they see before them, which is exactly what Brecht wanted his audience to do. Now, the second technique is didacticism. Now, didacticism is the instruction or teaching of a moral lesson. Now, Brecht's plays are didactic in that they all serve to teach the audience or send a message about certain aspects of society, politics, or even economy. They are plays which are designed to educate the performers and audience. It seems from Brecht's Marxist beliefs and the plays generally show the society negatively and the rightness of Marxist morality. Again, if you see in the play Mother Courage, specifically the didacticism lies in the contradiction of the characters and how their choices have affected their lives and the value of it. The idea that Mother Courage is driven by making money and not taking care of her children is shocking to the audience. Whenever her children need her, she is making a business deal. Her actions make the audience again question, like, how much is life really worth? How much am I like Mother Courage? What would I change or do differently? The play teaches a lesson about society, economy, and politics and wrestles with these throughout the play. The next technique is breaking the fourth wall. Now, what is a fourth wall? The fourth wall is an imaginary wall separating the audience from the action on the stage. In realistic productions, this wall remains intact and the performers do not acknowledge that they are being watched. The audiences are observers who are conditioned to believe that the world of the play is real. It is a suspension of disbelief. Like most theories of realism, Brecht wanted to disrupt the notion of the fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall involves the characters directly addressing and acknowledging the audience. Whether they break character or perform with an awareness of being watched, it is made clear that the characters and their actions are not real, and spectators are aware that they are witnessing fiction. The theory behind this technique links back to his definition of epic theater. So, by taking away the fourth wall, the audience must face the action, make decisions, and have the opportunity to be aroused to action. The next one is acting techniques. Now, Brecht believed that an actor should be present a character in a way that wasn't an impersonation, rather a narration of the actions of the character. He did this because he wanted to constantly remind his audience that they were watching a play. He also believed that if the audience developed an emotional attachment to the characters, then they could not evaluate the social realities of the play. The Brechian theatre does not show the human nature of an individual but reveals collective human relations. The story is the point of interest and not the characters. The story is the sequence of events, that is, the social experiment, allowing the interplay of social forces from which the play's lesson emerges. If the audience does not maintain a distance between the characters and themselves, then this cannot be achieved. Acting in epic theatre means that an actor is required to play characters believably without convincing either the audience or themselves that they are indeed the characters. There is an audible and visual distance between the actor and their character, and the actors will often break the fourth wall and address the audience, play multiple characters, and they also use exaggerated or repetitive actions to make their distance and social commentary known. The next one is justice. Justice is a theatrical technique that helps define the emotion within a character and the context they are in. It is the combination of a gesture and a social meaning into one moment, stance, or vocal display. It can be alienating and jar the audience as it is an unusual and non realistic way of forcing them to see the bigger picture of a situation. It is sometimes referred to as the social jest, as it is an action that allows the audience to understand something specific about the social circumstances presented on stage. Now, to explain gesture or gestures, um, I'm going to take an example from our day to day life. Like if a man was eating a sandwich and a dog suddenly attacked him and tried to take his food while the man tried to push the dog away, this will not be gestures. The act of pushing the dog away becomes gestures when social meaning is added to the picture. Again, for example, the man is a servant in a castle and the dog belongs to the guards at the gate, and they have let the dog out knowing that he will attack the man. And they are standing off to the side laughing at him. Now, the action of pushing the dog away has become gestures as it is an action that holds social meaning. The audience knows that this is not just any man, this is a working class man who is being picked on by people with a little more power over him. Now, we can give a very important reference for this from the play The Mother Courage and Her Children. So here, Mother Courage shows her inner emotional turmoil not through words but through a physical presentation. She looks at the audience and delivers a silent scream. Again, it is not the action alone that makes it gestures, but rather than the combination of this action and the social meaning. Mother Courage has just lost her son, but if she makes any sound of recognition towards him, she will put her life and the life of her daughter in danger. Now, she represents any person who has had to keep quiet in order to save somebody else. She has been forced into a terrible situation, and the audience gets to see this through her gestures of a silent scream. The last one, which is my favorite, which is narration and song. Now, not only Brecht is a very good writer, director, and producer, but he was also a very good poet. He wrote many songs for his productions, mostly in collaboration with Kurt Weill. Now, the purpose of a song in his play is not to heighten the emotion of the scenes, but as a means to comment or narrate on what is going on. It is also a form of alienating the audience. For example, again, in Mother Courage, The song's content may be serious and forewarning of hardships, while the music is happy and very light. It shows a lighter side to a deeply serious situation, and the dichotomy and ambiguity of it ultimately alienates the audience and makes them question the social realities that they are being presented. So the music and the action should serve to make each other seem strange. Now, I would like to conclude by telling that epic theater is the term used generally to describe Drudge's theory and technique. His plays were epic in that the dramatic action was episodic, a disconnected montage of scenes, non representational staging, and the alienation effect. All elements contribute to Brith's overall purpose, which was to comment on the political, social, and economic elements that affected the life of his characters. In Brecht on Theatre, which is a book, he outlines the differences between epic and dramatic theatre. So, if you go and look into it, he says that epic theatre is narrative and turns the spectator into an observer, arouses his capacity for action, forces him to take decisions, picture of the world. It is like an argument brought to the point of recognition. The spectator stands outside and studies what is going on. The human being is the object of the inquiry, and it is like a montage. It doesn't have linear development like dramatic theater. It has curves and it jumps. And in dramatic theater, man is showed as a fixed point, but in epic theater, man is like a process. It is like a social being determines thought, and epic theater is more for reason rather than feeling. Thank you.